Welcome to the Garden Party. 4 teams have fought their way to Midtown Manhattan, the Madison Square Garden in the NIT semifinals tonight. Game 1, the Gators of Florida and the Cavaliers of Virginia. Welcome to our twin bill, everybody. I'm Chris Fowler. It's SEC versus ACC. Virginia's already blown out one SEC team on the way to the NIT semis. They beat Tennessee badly in round number 2. The Gators have earned their trip to the Garden. They've won 2 road games at Pitt and at Purdue or Indianapolis, but it's still a Purdue crowd. They are here, and this may be a springboard for even bigger things next year for the Gators. They were 7-21, remember, just 2 seasons ago. Lon Kruger's done a great job. Then semifinal game number 2, the Irish. Notre Dame will take on Utah about 9:15. The Irish returning to the scene of one of their biggest wins this year. They beat Carolina January 11th. They love the Garden Rim. They shot 62% that night, but great defense has got them to the semis. They blocked 27 shots in their last 3 games. A win gives John McLeod the record for a rookie Notre Dame coach for victories. Then we're going to get to the Garden for game number 1. Sean McDonough and Bill Raftery will have the game for you. Junior Burrow, the freshman who plays like a senior, getting ready to take on the Gators. Enjoy the first half.
Bird was born.
Every parent wants their child to be intelligent, cultured, and enlightened. So it's never too early to get them into a great institution.
Oh boy, what are we waiting for? On with the show!
The Disney Channel.
We got it, we got it, we got it, we got it, you got it, you got it, you got it, you got it, we got it, we got it.
If you've got to have it, there's no better time to get it.
We got it, we got it, we got it, you got it, you got it, you got it.
The Suzuki We've Got It flexible financing. Come and get it.
We've got it at M&S AutoCAD and Suzuki. High Adventure is only $99 down, $99 a month on the Suzuki GS500E. Or get excited over the Suzuki Bandit or the Suzuki Dual Sport. Both only $109 down, $109 a month. We've got it at M&S.
Basketball has long been associated with our great urban centers. Schoolyard games are where many legends first displayed their dazzling skills. No city has developed more basketball talent and exported more stars around the country than the Big Apple. The sacred shrine of basketball is New York's Madison Square Garden.
You heard of all the greats who played there before, all the great games that have taken place at Madison Square Garden, and just think that you have a chance to be on that floor. I mean, it's just this is a great honor.
When I was a kid growing up back at home, I always wanted to play in Madison Square Garden, so this is really a big deal for me.
Tonight, 4 teams battle on the legendary hardwood in the semifinals of the 55th Annual National Invitation Tournament. And welcome live inside Madison Square Garden for the first game of tonight's NIT semifinal doubleheader between the Virginia Cavaliers and the Florida Gators. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Sean McDonough. It's great to have you with us. The winner of this game will meet the winner of the Utah-Notre Dame game later tonight in the championship game of the NIT. That one will come your way on ESPN on Wednesday night. I'm joined by Bill Raftery. Bill, Virginia, a favorite in this one. They're at 18-13 for the season and led by the all-time leading scorer in the history of their school, Bryant Stith.
They're a solid team, and he's a solid player. And what amazes me, Sean, he always plays within himself. Posts good numbers and could post greater numbers, but he's so unselfish. And the system, the motion offense that they run for him, enables him to get good shots and attack the glass.
Jeff Jones had this to say yesterday about his superstar, Bryant Stith.
It's really hard to put into words because while we do depend on him so much for the points and the rebounds, I think just as much as that, the intangibles that he brings to our basketball team are as important. He's a tremendous leader by example. You heard Junior Burrow talk about what a great work ethic he has, and when your best player comes to work every day.
The Florida Gators will have their hands full stopping Bryant Stith tonight. Florida, one of the great success stories this year in college basketball, picked to finish last in their division of the SEC. Here they are in the semifinals of the NIT with a record of 19-12.
And much like Lon Kruger, their coach, a feisty type of individual whose team plays great defense.
And his star player is feisty. Stacy Poole, battling injuries throughout his career, including one suffered in the quarterfinal win over Purdue, an abdominal muscle strain, but he will play tonight.
He's a tough kid, plays hurt, as does Stith. They run a lot of motion for him as well. He's able to bounce left and shoot a fadeaway jump shot, and he's very strong on the fast break.
It's the first meeting ever on the basketball court between Florida and Virginia. The winner goes to the championship game of the NIT. We'll have the starting lineups from Madison Square Garden right after this.
Right now at Pizza Hut, get a Supreme Pizza loaded with 6 delicious toppings like mouth-watering pepperoni and green peppers. Call Pizza Hut Delivery and get a medium Supreme for $7.99 and any other medium for just $4 more. Call now.
Come on, Pizza Hut, deliver me.
Have you had your V8 today? Did you know that V8 juice has fewer calories than that orange and 100% of the daily allowance of vitamin C?
Wow.
And did you know that V8 is 100% vegetable juice, so it has no fat, unlike that low-fat milk? Wow! And did you know that V8 has more vitamin A than that serving of fresh broccoli?
Wow. I gotta have a V8.
V8 is a nutritious blend of 8 vegetable juices that taste terrific. Have you had your V8 today?
It's not a notebook, it's a power book. What's the difference? Well, this thing's like nothing ever was. It has my whole life in it. What do you mean?
So wherever we go, we always stay connected. Everyone in sales has one now.
My expense reports, invoices, order forms.
It's a great way to meet girls.
Look at that resolution on that. Yeah, it's really nice. Hardly weighs anything.
I can fax from any phone. Very comfortable.
This lets me do it.
Whole 9 yards.
Everything else is a dinosaur. Can I try it? No.
Power Book from Apple. It's the next thing.
What if you left all your worries behind? You grab the family, your skis, maybe a picnic lunch. What you'd have is freedom. Introducing the Freedom Machines from Sea-Doo.
Freedom!
Freedom! For your nearest Sea-Doo watercraft dealer, check your local Yellow Pages or call toll-free 1-800-882.
New sensation, new refreshing Shield. Feel the blast. The high-energy beat of Shield's unique skin-vigorating formula. Refreshment that'll turn you around. New refreshing Shield.
ESPN's college basketball is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers with that clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud. And by Shield. Shower yourself with a new sensation, new refreshing Shield.
Welcome back to Madison Square Garden for the first game of tonight's NIT semifinal doubleheader between Virginia and Florida. Let's take a look now at the McDonald's starting lineup for the Virginia Cavaliers. And we feature the freshman point guard, Corey Alexander, who has set a school record for starts by a freshman point guard with 31, the highest previous total for a freshman point guard of Virginia, 16. So he is going where no one has gone before.
And runs the club and loves those assists.
His opposite number, the point guard for Florida, is also a freshman, Dan Cross.
Good, solid player. He plays well. They're a better team. Just off the Purdue game, he's got some talent and meshes this club, gets it inside for Lon Kruger.
Kruger, the SEC Coach of the Year in this his second season at the University of Florida. The win over Purdue got his record with the Gators over the 500 mark. And like Lon Kruger, Jeff Jones is in his second season as head coach at the University of Virginia. He became head coach in 1990 at age 30, the youngest head coach in the history of the ACC.
You grow up quickly in that league, Sean.
Virginia, dressed in orange, controlled the opening tip, and we're underway.
Gators, man-to-man.
Alexander to Ted Jeffries, the center, well off the mark, rebounded by Craig Brown, number 4. This is Cross.
Virginia generally man-to-man, and they attack the basketball, Sean, and look to assist from other areas.
Jose Grimsley was shut off by Junior Burrow. Gators will be patient in their half-court offense. Poole too strong, rebounded by Burrow.
Both clubs like to get it down on the block. You'll enjoy, folks, the Clerk as Burrow, and the follow by Jeffrey, freshman for Florida. Very talented guy, Sean.
Indeed he is. That three-point attempt by Alexander missed the rim. Got just a piece of the backboard. Still no score, and perhaps some early jitters for the Gators and Cavs.
The Garden, huh? There's the youngster, not bad. A little pump, and done.
Andrew DeClerc, the freshman from Clearwater, Florida. Now Anthony Oliver missed the baseline jumper. Rebound batted around. And taken in by Dan Cross. It's a 3-on-2 break. Brown. Rebounded by Oliver.
Both clubs are sound defensively. They'll balance the floor and generally check out.
Stith.
He makes those. He's an All-American, huh?
Indeed he is. Bryant Stith, the all-time leading scorer in Virginia history and named first-team All-ACC for the 3rd consecutive year. And his three-pointer gave Virginia a 1-point lead.
Post up by DeClerc. He's wasting the energy. Cross never even looks in.
Grimsley with the ball. Primarily a defensive specialist for Florida. And this is Poole along the baseline.
That's
and he scores over Oliver.
Tough shot, huh? A fade back baby. Dick Barnett did a few of those in this building.
And you had a few of those in the old Madison Square Garden, they were telling us before the game.
Fade away, they were saying to me. Fade out of the picture. Look at him, he's looking for himself, though. That is the side of him that I think should expose itself even a little more.
Oliver off the mark again from the baseline. Controlled in the corner by Grimsley. Florida leads 4-3. The Gators have the ball with 17:08 to play in the first half.
You mentioned the patience of Florida. Very well schooled to get correct shots.
Poole short that time. Stith the rebound. Oliver on the move. Lays it in. The Cavs are back up 5-4.
Did you see Stith wait because he didn't have a good passing lane? It wasn't that he didn't see Oliver. He just wanted to make sure of the correct pass.
Foul in the paint. DeClerc hit the deck as he got tangled up with Jeffries. And Jeffries picked up the foul. The first against Jeffries and the first on Virginia. A talented trio of officials here tonight. Jackie Hannon, Joe Mingle, and Leroy Hendricks.
Do I get a vote on that?
Would you, would you dissent?
Well, let's reserve comment. A lot can happen. Well, they've been around.
Marty Quisma with the ball, number 15. He's just checked in for Florida.
Stepping out of bounds. Quisma made some nice shots. Two big baskets against Purdue.
Grimsley lost it on the baseline. Virginia ball. The Cavs leading 5-4. We've played 3.5 minutes. Neither team lighting it up from the floor to this point.
There's their stacked set. Stith with the pop-out. Nice ball fake.
That shot deflected off the side of the backboard by Jose Grimsley and taken in by Scott Stewart, number 11, who has also just come on for Florida. Grimsley had it blocked by Oliver. Saved by Grimsley. Then he stepped on the end line.
Nice defense by Oliver. That's his strong suit, I think. They get some offense out of him. They're in pretty good business. But helping one another, the Virginia philosophy. This looks like a wide open jumper. And the attention to detail by the Cavs.
There's Anthony Oliver. He generally draws the assignment of guarding the opponent's leading perimeter scorer, and he's been on Stacey Poole to this point. Corey Alexander. And now Stith. Nice ball fake again. But he missed the shot over Brown. The rebound by Jeffries. And a foul called on the floor against Florida. Brian Hogan, who has just come in, committed his first. He's a senior from Kokomo, coming off the highlight of his career in Indianapolis on Wednesday night when he scored 18 against Purdue in front of his friends and family. Cavaliers by 1 will return to Madison Square Garden in just a moment.
Mister, I'm taking you in.
Marshal, isn't the fella entitled to a last meal?
Folks everywhere are headed to McDonald's for the return of the Wild West. Because for a limited time, you can rustle up the two-fisted taste of a sassy McRib or breakfast up on ham, green peppers, and cheese and a tempting Western omelet McMuffin.
Ma'am, that was mighty tasty. I'll need an order to go.
Yes, sir. Is what you get.
At McDonald's today.
I just can't eat my food.
Don't you know it's not polite to talk with your mouth full?
This royal throne of kings, this happy breed of men, this earth of majesty, this little world.
The airline that's uniting the world, United, brings you non-stop service from 6 U.S. cities to London's Heathrow and the land of poets.
This blessed plot, this earth, this realm, this England.
Come fly the friendly skies.
Fresh, pure, and natural. The only beer with the genuine taste of the king of beers, Budweiser.
Virginia with a 1-point lead as we look at our first replay of the night from the Upper Deck trading card cam.
You got that all out, huh? And this is that gorgeous approach to a fast break where Stith fan dribbles because the defender is in the way and the pass might be intercepted. Great understanding. You like that look?
Senior from Freeman, Virginia, who has a lot of people looking at him tonight.
Besides that, Cam, huh?
A lot of NBA scouts here tonight.
You like that look?
I do. It's a nice look. It is almost in the Upper Deck, which makes it appropriate that it's sponsored by the Upper Deck trading card people.
You should be comfortable in the Upper Deck. And they reach over.
And the fouls against Virginia's Yuri Barnes, number 24, who went over the back of Spain Dirkelboten, who has checked in for Florida. Let's set the lineups as both coaches have made substitutions now. There's Yuri Barnes on the floor for Virginia, along with Alexander, Jeffries, Stith, and Oliver. It's Quishma, Brown, Dirkelboten, Stewart, and Hogan for Florida. Here's Brian Hogan.
Hogan gets those feet set quickly. Oh, what a tough pass. Dirkelboten. That was like a shot put coming. Now, some guys aren't known for their passing. They Spain might enter into that area.
Into the game for Virginia. Number 5, Junior Burrow has returned. Anthony Oliver on the bench. Florida's second turnover has given the ball back to UVA. The Cavaliers have not turned it over to this point. Expected defensive struggle.
Yeah, both coaches like to take you away from what you like and prepare exceedingly well. Because we're going to say that in the next game too. But defensively, that's how they attack the game. Some guys think, well, you got to push the ball up. Let's get some quick hitters. They both guard and look for opportunity breaks.
The first turnover by Virginia off the knee of Junior Burrow gave it back to Florida. Poole now guarded by Burrow.
There's that dribble left and the jump shot. And generally you figure the guy's going to pick it up and pass it, but he's got the quick release.
Foul on the drive as Alexander took it toward the hoop. He was fouled by Scott Stewart. The road to the NIT Final Four for the Virginia Cavaliers. And Virginia benefited from having 2 home games. They were on the road at Villanova in round 1 and won by 3, then beat Tennessee and New Mexico at home. That New Mexico win in the quarterfinals was played at the Richmond Coliseum.
I guess they had the NCAA women's game.
They did indeed.
In Charlottesville. You notice everybody balanced for Virginia, forcing the jumper, but not able to knock it down, Sean.
First bucket of the night for Craig Brown, the sophomore from Steelton, Pennsylvania. There's Cornell Parker with his first shot. He was fouled by Stewart, who has picked up 2 quick personals. Florida is the only team in the NIT Final Four that has played 2 road games to get here. They opened with a home win in the O'Connell Center over Richmond, then won at Pittsburgh by 3 and beat Purdue in Indianapolis in what was a home game for Purdue on Wednesday night. Lon Kruger looking for his 20th win of the season.
Pretty solid job, huh?
Pretty solid guy.
Yeah, he is. He is. I got a kick out of him his little guy here with him, and pretty good baseball fan, yeah? And player as well. Of course, he tried all the sports, as we call, and turned to coaching.
Wisely so.
Secured. I don't know why Cornell was fouled on that shot. Not good judgment by Scott Stewart.
Alexander underneath the Burrow.
Posting up in the 3-second area. Very difficult to defend.
Burrow's a freshman from Charlotte, North Carolina. He's been in double figures for Jeff Jones in each of the last 8 games. Poole hot out of the gate, showing no signs of that abdominal strain.
Well, whether he's in the deep end or the shallow end, Stacy is on fire.
Poole with 6 points. Jeff Jones will watch his team inbound it. They want to beat the basket.
Quietly confident guy. He said, you know, we prepare. They know what we want them to do, and just sit back and let them play. Because when you have a guy like Stith, not a good one here either. DeClerc lead. You've got to lead the guy to the pass.
Andrew DeClerc called for his first foul. DeClerc, an excellent student, a 3.3 GPA in his first semester at Florida in engineering.
It's tough to play and study, huh?
Not for Andrew. It was for the two of us.
Yeah, for most of us.
Florida by 2. We've played 6.5 minutes. Hogan, his confidence has grown as the season has gone along. He missed, but DeClerc followed to give Florida a 4-point lead, 4 points in the game for Andrew DeClerc.
Oh, he's tough. He had the jumper, now he posts this guy up, and he's got a couple inches on him.
Stith with 5 of the 10 Virginia points. DeClerc, 2 more for Andrew. Dale Brown of LSU calls DeClerc the best freshman in the SEC.
Well, you and Dale are tight. I'm sure he can fight at you. But he runs the floor. You saw him post up and got down the floor. Did he get tagged for that one?
Yes, he did. That's 2 on DeClerc and 2 on Stewart. So early foul problems potentially for the Gators.
I'm sure you and Dale will be exchanging Christmas presents, but on this end, DeClerc is more than just a bystander. Good turnaround post moves, and the coaches, and he agrees himself, he'll put some weight on, and his future may be at the big forward spot. Great looking prospect for Florida.
He's already gained 10 pounds over his senior year of high school, but he needs to add more to his frame. He's at 215. 7 points now for Stith. He comes in averaging 20 per game. Florida by 2, under 13 to play in the first half.
Inside bumps, screen aways, lock close.
Poole. And now Hogan.
Parker, pretty good defender. Played Allen Houston well from Tennessee. Quick release.
Hogan missed the 3, rebounded by Parker. He's a sophomore from Norfolk, Virginia.
Either club in a hurry, Sean. They're going to be nice pop out. Paid for it.
Jeffries drove the lane. That pop out caused Gierkelbogen the position on Jeffries.
You're hedging, and then, no, you don't get the support. Not good D by the Gators.
Tied up at 14. We've played 8 minutes. Gierkelbogen, he's from Norway. A couple of foreign players on this team. Cleese from Finland.
Tough to make the home games.
Gierkelbogen fouled, count the bucket. Jeffries hit him. Gierkelbogen will go to the line with a chance for a 3-point play.
They get it there, and then it's up to others to convert. But you're going to do pretty well and have a high scoring percentage when you get it down on the box. I'm impressed with their ability to do something with it once they catch it. I'm talking about DeClerc and Gierkelbogen. Nice pump, step, and the touch as well.
Foul on Jeffries was his first. Gierkelbogen finishes the 3-point play. The Gators lead by 3, 11:49 to play in the first half here at Madison Square Garden in New York.
You paid $200 for the contents of this bottle. $300? More? Every day, thousands of new car buyers do when they buy a dealer-applied paint sealant. The same professional sealant you can now apply yourself for a fraction of the price. Introducing Clear Coat Paint Sealant from Turtle Wax. New Clear Coat Paint Sealant is a high-tech, Teflon-enriched sealant that chemically bonds to your car's finish to help seal out ultraviolet rays, acid rain, and grime while safely sealing in the showroom shine. 12 full months of protection absolutely guaranteed. Your car not so new? New Clear Coat Paint Sealant cleans off oxidation, shines, and seals in a just polished look for a full 12 months. The same high-tech protection available for hundreds of dollars from professional car appearance detailers for a fraction of the price. So spend hundreds with them or save hundreds with this. New Clear Coat Paint Sealant from Turtle Wax. Get new Clear Coat Paint Sealant now at these stores.
BMW reminds you there's more to life than a bigger office. Is this the year you experience BMW motorcycles?
Lon Kruger in the midst of his Florida Gators. Bill mentioned earlier that Kruger himself was a fine athlete. He was the two-time Big 8 Player of the Year as a guard for Kansas State in 1973 and 74. Drafted by the Houston Astros, he spent a year in the minor league system of the St. Louis Cardinals. He was drafted by the Atlanta Hawks, went to camp with the Detroit Pistons, and the Dallas Cowboys invited him to their rookie camp as a quarterback back in the time when they were taking athletes from other sports as
a lot
projects.
More, huh? It just proves one thing: great strong drive by Parker, everything but. It proves that he couldn't make up his mind.
Got into coaching. 4 years at Pan American University as the head coach for K-State, and now 2 at Florida. Success wherever he has gone.
Nice screen away by Poole. Derek Colboden with the same kind of step through.
While we're on the subject of the Dallas Cowboys, all of us at ESPN want to send along our best wishes to Tex Schramm, who's been hospitalized with heart problems. We understand Tex is going to be just fine, and
that's great news.
That's great news. What a wonderful gentleman he is.
Down screen and then looking to settle in the lane. Now, Poole's been effective popping out to the foul line.
We've played 9 minutes. Florida leads by 3. The Gators' largest lead is 4. Jerkel Bowden trying to make it 5, and he does with a nifty move.
Sure was. Well, they keep their guys close to the tin. Virginia is struggling a little bit on the offense. Defense has been basically sound.
Oliver, the line drives one home. 5 points for Anthony Oliver.
Barrow's got to toughen up inside. Make sure he puts a body. Keeps Dirk Colboden. Well, not a good cut there. Post pass, the entry pass coming as Stacy Poole not only gets there but brings his guy, Sean.
And he lost it out of bounds.
Here's a great shot at just the overload occurring essentially when you've got yourself a pretty good looking set. Not good offense by Poole.
Virginia can tie it up with a 3-point field goal. A trail 19-16. Junior Burrow makes it 19-18.
And a nice read. They had gone 2-3 zone, hiding baseline. Good job this time on the screen away. Well, both clubs have played in tough games. We really rely on defense, and you can see as they try and take away different cuts.
Parker lost it as he tried to drive. Looking for a foul. They'll only get the ball out of bounds. More spring training Major League Baseball action comes your way on ESPN tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Battle of the Bay Area. San Francisco takes on Oakland. That's tomorrow at 8 here on ESPN. Artie Kuisma, the sophomore from Helsinki, Finland, back in Florida. The Gators lead by 1 with 9.5 left in the first half.
What did you dub him, or we read? The Fighting Finn?
The Fighting Finn is Kuisma. He spent some time in the military in his homeland, and Svein Dirkelboten, dubbed by Mick Hubert, the voice of the Gators, as the Norwegian Collegian. He's from Bergen, Norway.
And de Klerk on the floor. Oh, what a silly one. A gamble. And that's how you learn the game as a youngster. That's number 3, if I'm not mistaken, Sean.
You are right, sir.
But Lon Kruger, these games are important because you learn a lot about yourself and your understanding of the game. Poor judgment there. Next year and the year after, when he's got 2, he'll be a little more conservative. Or if he continues, Lon will not put him back in with 2.
De Klerk goes to the bench with 3. Dirkelboten right back in. This particularly hurts Florida, since one of the areas Virginia thought it had the advantage in, Jeff Jones been coming into this game, is inside strength. Inside, it's Parker juggling and missing. Burrow had it ripped away by Brown. Jump ball to call. It will be Gator ball.
That little activity off the glass. You know, offensively, when you look at Virginia, you need other people to get Stith going. I think maybe Alexander, some penetration. Burrow down on the box.
Look out, Bill.
Yep. Thank you for the good denial stance.
Like visions of the soft drink all over you for the second time in the NIT. Burrow fouled. The shot would not drop. We're at Madison Square Garden in New York, game 1 of our NIT semifinal doubleheader. In game 2, Utah takes on Notre Dame.
Well, Jeff Jones said he expected some more zone. And his job, he felt, was to force them on the perimeter, make Florida shoot jump shots, and take over with their size.
Junior Burrow made the first. He and Corey Alexander were teammates at Oak Hill Academy, a school that has sent many on to major college basketball.
Churned a few out in their day. Neither club looking to press early. But Jeff mentioned they might throw some wrinkles after made free throws. Ball reversal.
And it's Brown with the ball. Now Grimsley on the floor with Poole, Kuisma, and Stewart for Florida. Stewart fires up a 3, rebounded by Cornell Parker. Nice. Burrow. And a foul on the rebound action.
I believe it's on Stith, Sean. Heck of a look by Alexander in the middle of the floor.
One foul on Bryant Stith.
Well, you're looking for quick hitters if your team is a half-court team. And this is what Virginia took advantage of. Unfortunately, the great pass negated by the lack of a finishing touch.
Low scoring affair, 19 all the score, under 8 minutes to play in the half. Poole long with the shot, rebounded by Alexander. His pass taken back by Grimsley. 3-on-2 Florida. Stewart fouled by Corey Alexander.
Nice read. You see those two fellas separate, take it, make them pinch. They can't get in position to pick up the charge, and if they do get over you, you'll dump. Scott Stewart able to use good judgment on this particular break. Alexander going to the well with that up the middle pass. But once too often, a little hesitation, splits the D, and the look, but the foul before.
Foul on Alexander, his first. We'll be back in just a moment.
Excuse me, do you know?
Boys and girls of all ages are invited to enter Blue Ridge Cable TV's egg decorating contest. Your decorated eggs will be shown on WBRC TV 11 on Good Friday and Easter Sunday. Entrants will be judged and winners will be eligible for exciting prizes. The age categories will be preschool through kindergarten, elementary 1 and 2, junior high, and senior high to adult. So bring your decorated eggs to the Blue Ridge Cable TV office on Route 272 before noon on April 13th. Join in the fun. Start decorating today. You could be a winner.
Where else can you get great cars, great buys, and great service? Where else but at Steffi Buick Pontiac? The Steffi family has been serving your automotive needs in the area for over 50 years, and no wonder we've stayed in business with such great deals as these. Get GMAC financing as low as 2.9% to qualified buyers, or how about factory rebates up to $2,000 on selected models, plus Smart Lease by GMAC available. See Steffi Buick Pontiac for great new and used cars, great trade-in buys, and great service. 20 South State Street, Ephrata.
Win a trip to the World Series or a week at ESPN's Fantasy Baseball Camp. It's the Babe Movie Contest. Call 1-900-737-1714. The call costs 99 cents a minute. To enter, correctly answer a question based on the movie The Babe. Or send name, address, phone number, and the name of the last team the Babe played for to this address. Winners selected by random drawing. Get a different trivia fact nightly on ESPN's Baseball Tonight. And watch for The Babe, starring John Goodman at a theater near you.
Among those in attendance tonight here at Madison Square Garden, George Steinbrenner, sitting in the front row right behind the Virginia bench. I'd imagine he's cheering for Florida since he makes his home in the Tampa Bay area.
I think he might be pulling for them, pulling for the Yankees too, and pulling to get back in the game. What do you think?
Apparently he has permission to be here tonight.
Did he call Fay?
Poole to Hogan. Hogan comprising the backcourt now with Cross, Poole, Grimsley, and Quisma across the front line. Poole didn't get it to drop, but he was fouled on the drive by Yuri Barnes. 2 fouls on the freshman from Richmond, Barnes.
Just a deceptive little thing. The reversal of the ball setting up the low post pass. And Florida, you look at clubs, what kind of shots do the coaches get for their team? And that's a good barometer in evaluating a coach. And both Lon Kruger and Jeff get high quality shots. And that's why they're able to be successful.
Stacey Poole missed the first.
Do you remember Jones as a player?
Yes.
Played with Ralph.
Yes. Played in 2 NITs.
Went after it.
Jeff Jones was a 4-year starter for the Cavaliers in the late 70s and early 80s. Poole made 1 out of 2. Gators stuck on 19 for a while, now up to 20 and leading 20 to 19.
Smith to give Alexander a blow, can shoot it deep. And I'm sure they're looking to get some inside people. Here's their box set. Trying to lock low, and they got Stith. Good job forcing him out.
By Grimsley. Now Barnes, well short of it. Stith drops it in. 9 points for Bryant Stith.
Game pretty much as both of us felt, huh? Competitive, close. Not a whole lot separates these two teams.
And each team with a great defender to match up with the leading man from the other squad. Stith has had Jose Grimsley all over them, although Grimsley has watched Stith score 9 points. And you mentioned earlier Anthony Oliver, an excellent defender who's been working primarily on Poole.
I don't think you'll play unless you guard. Either club. I understand the job offers are coming in from Florida for you. Chamber of Commerce wants to hire you. All the nice things you had to say.
I understand in the Florida papers it called our broadcast of the Purdue game a 2-hour commercial for the University of Florida. Glad to do what we can to help.
Oh, whatever. As long as you're in a sunny environment. They certainly deserved it, though, the other night.
This is Parker, and in the game for the first time for Virginia, number 11, Doug Smith. That's Junior Burrow, well short. Rebounded by Stith. 11 for Bryant Stith.
He's getting some points where he will not get them in the NBA down there on those misses, but he's got to learn to break his guy down with the dribble a little bit, don't you think? And he's never really jabbed at him and gone by.
UVA on a 9-1 run to open up a 3-point lead, the largest for the Cavs. Hogan trying to tie it, and he does.
Gets those puppies set. He was on fire, as you mentioned, in Indiana. Good open shooter.
Matching his career high against Purdue in the quarterfinals. Oliver got Grimsley in the air and then scored around him.
Wow, when he provides the offense, they got something going. Only gets about 7 a game, known, as you mentioned, for the D.
He has 7 already tonight, matching his season average. 5:20 to play, Virginia by 2 at 25-23. Whistle away from the ball.
Oh, they're gonna...
Brian Hogan wanted the NBA 3.
Well, he would have had it, except I think they got the foul earlier.
And it was on Junior Burrow, his first. 7-team foul, so it'll be a 1-and-1 opportunity.
Could you imagine they had the 3 good and a foul underneath for 1-and-1? That sort of gets you in a little hole. We're out of one. And here's that look. This is deep. Trent Tucker land. I guess Kiki Vanderway when you're in this building nowadays. Knickerbocker.
By Quishman. Now Stith. 25 on the shot clock. Virginia with a 2-point lead.
Then back to that man-to-man. Virginia ran some nice little stuff to lock low. That's what he's got to do a little more of.
Parker kept it alive, but it wound up with Stacy Poole. This is Lewis Rowe, who has checked in for Florida. He did not see any action against Purdue. Did not even make the trip to Indianapolis.
You know, the run right now, Lon Kruger trying to yo-yo the up front people and having some luck at it, but Virginia able to rebound a lot better.
Since DeClerc went out with 3 fouls, that's a travel called against Cornell Parker. A couple of times we've seen him force things on the
break.
Yeah,
he's trying, he thinks he's in the open floor and has a license to go to the hole, but Jeff would rather see a Stith do something like that and be able to convert.
Jeff Jones has seen a lot from Bryant Stith already. He has 11 points and 7 rebounds.
Jeff was telling us the other night that he'd like to get a shooter for next year, whether it's a 3-man, the small forward, a 2-man, the shooting guard. He thinks they need some more threats, and I think I agree with him.
Certainly, they have a nice freshman class with 2 starters in Burrow and Alexander. Burrow missed a 3, kept alive by Brown, but out of bounds. It will be Virginia ball. And they get playing time off the bench to the Cavaliers from Barnes and Jason Williford. Bobby Graves has played from time to time this year. A bright future for Virginia with a very young team, with the exception of Steph.
And how about Havlicek's goal the other night? They made all the highlights, that little reverse underneath the tin with a kiss on it. Then I wasted the dribble there. Well, I think he may have walked, huh?
Got away with it. Missed the shot. Just 1 field goal in the last 7 minutes for the Florida Gators. They trail by 2.
Well, Rowe didn't play the other night because of personal matters. He's taking it personally this evening.
That was Lou Rowe's first basket of the night. It knocks the score at 25 down to 3:20 to play in the first half. Utah and Notre Dame coming up in the second half of our NIT semifinal doubleheader.
And they go 2-3. You hear the coaches say 23 frequently. Little mix-up. Make the Cavs pry a little and force the outside shot.
Parker with the skip to Oliver.
Wow.
He is heating up. 9 points for Anthony Oliver, the senior who faced on North Carolina.
In the ACC tournament, he had a little bandage and cushion on the shooting hand and wasn't stroking it as well. He's ripped it off, and I'll tell you what, tonight he's on fire.
Poole able to accept the pass despite Stith getting a hand on it. Stewart for a 3.
Old-fashioned, huh? He earns it.
A little bit of the old-fashioned set shot look as well.
It's right, the one-hand push.
Corey Alexander passed it up. Oliver off the mark that time. Poole batted it out, but Oliver tracked it down. 28-27 Florida. Oliver.
Wow. There was a play by the name of Oliver that took over New York, and he certainly is this evening. Wow, open shots. They're sort of giving them, and he's able to convert. Roughly 42 on the year. Not known for that fluid stroke.
Oliver saying, please, sir, can I have some more?
Nice.
Poole.
Quick move.
Oh, he hit the deck hard.
Oh, and harder with the hand. I think he felt he made the goal unless he did hurt himself. The knee, the Achilles, a couple of times with the Achilles, and the abdomen. And that may be what happened the other night in the Purdue game. You remember he got sort of a bump or poke. When you play hard, you do get banged around. And Stacy, the stick-to-itiveness through all the adversity in Florida. We mentioned the other night his mom, a source of strength to keep his commitment up to get his degree and finish it out.
Poole getting back to his feet. The foul was on Corey Alexander, his second. 29-28 Virginia. We're back after this.
That game started like every other one I've played with.
11-8.
11-7, Dad.
Yeah, whatever. She actually said yes?
He was trying for an edge.
Huh? Yeah. Same woman the rest of your life.
Trying to rattle me.
Mortgage, kids, nervous? Huh? You look nervous.
And it was working.
Kids? So, who's gonna be your best man?
Now it was my turn.
I don't know. I thought maybe, you. Me? Oh, bingo!
Only one beer has the taste as genuine as the people who drink it.
What do you mean you'll get back to me?
Budweiser.
I'm just kidding.
You had me. I know I had you.
I had you out there.
Hit Pizza Hut for a supreme pizza loaded with 6 delicious toppings like mouth-watering pepperoni, mushrooms, and green peppers. Right now, get a medium supreme for $7.99 and any other medium for just $4 more.
Get Pizza Hut tonight.
A new arrival. A tire so special, it may last as long as you own your car. The new XH4. Congratulations. It's a Michelin.
Sean McDonough and Bill Raftery, happy to have you with us for game one of our NIT semifinal doubleheader from Madison Square Garden, Virginia, with a 1-point lead, and Stacy Poole still being tended to along the Florida bench. He has had a variety of injuries throughout his career, including most recently Wednesday night's abdominal strain suffered against Purdue when he missed the final 4 minutes of that one.
And Sean, this is just the recoiling effect. Said today it hurt, but he was able to play. And just Stith's another guy. Guys that love to play and play hurt. I mean, they overcome these obstacles because they're mentally strong.
Dan Cross shooting the free throws for Poole. He missed the first.
And you can relate to that inner strength.
Indeed.
You haven't met an inning you haven't liked.
1 for 2 for Cross. We're tied again at 29. As you look at it from the upper deck trading card cam.
Watch the screens, the cuts, and they're stepping up the D here a little bit, a little more aggressively. Different pressure points now.
You know, ESPN had to give up a Roger Clemens and a Jose Canseco to get this camera. Burrow.
Look at this snatch.
Tip had it rejected by Lewis Rowe.
Nice breakdown there. Just what we were alluding to, huh? That's what he can do.
13 points and 8 rebounds for Bryant Stith. Rowe off for Brown, and he knocks it in. Brown's had a nice NIT, including 17 points in the win at Pitt, playing in front of his hometown friends and family. He's from Steelton, PA.
Does Rowe get an assist for that? Nice little double up.
Sure that he should.
On a strip like that, a little trap. You can see the unusual deployment defensively and its impact on Virginia.
Craig Brown picked up his first foul. Coming up at the half, we'll join Chris Fowler. And he'll introduce you to the new coach at the University of Mississippi. And Duke excellence, that's been an ongoing subject for many years now.
Michael,
do you have an early prediction for us? What's
everyone I picks out. That was just one of the great games, as we mentioned today, coming over here for the shoot-arounds. And the will and character of Leitner and Hurley, along with Mike's confidence in his team, but not to take anything away from Pitino and Kentucky. That was just an incredible endeavor.
Anthony Oliver in. Corey Alexander goes to the bench with Virginia leading by 2. Florida can hold for the final shot of the half as the shot clock is off.
And this Florida team beat Kentucky. They played some tough people. Well, they got much better late. And it took that time. And talking to Lon today, they didn't have it earlier. And all of a sudden, they've got that inner glow, that confidence.
Brown, nice move to get away from Oliver. Then Burrow came over and blocked it. Time for the Cavs to get up a shot. Stith stepped on the sideline, and now there's time for Florida with 1.5 seconds remaining.
Sean, how about Rowe? I mean, he got away with it, tried to pick up the charge, caused the turnover by paying attention. Otherwise, Stith has either got a dribble for the jumper or a give up. You can play it off the glass. That's a heck of a little play.
Yes, it is.
Until it's touched. A lot of guys use that at the end of games. Run a back screen, cut to the goal, grab it, and finish.
Lon Kruger with some concerns. The Clerk with 3 fouls. Stacy Poole with an injury. His team heads off at halftime, trailing by 2. 33-31 Virginia. Let's join Chris Fowler.
All right, Sean and Bill. So low-scoring defensive, just the way both teams like it. Cavs up by 2. At halftime, we'll have the NCAA's ruling on Christian Laettner's technical, and also take a look at the Duke program. They just keep doing it again and again. Plus the baseball trade and NCAA basketball coaching news.
Mister, I'm taking you in.
Marshal, isn't the feller entitled to a last meal?
Folks everywhere are headed to McDonald's for the return of the Wild West. Because for a limited time, you can rustle up the two-fisted taste of a sassy McRib or breakfast up on ham, green peppers, and cheese and a tempting Western omelet McMuffin.
Ma'am, that was mighty tasty. I'll need an order to go.
Yes, sir. Is what you get.
At McDonald's today.
I just eat my food. Don't you know it's not polite to talk with your mouth full?
Listen here, Coach Ray's got a big announcement for you. See, that special AHA ingredient is so popular, we're making April National AHA Month.
AHA will be everywhere this April. Grocery stores, restaurants, beaches, parks, everywhere. And to kick it off, we're sending 1 million lucky Diet Coke drinkers a free case of Diet Pepsi. Guaranteed delivery by UPS.
It's the celebration of the year, baby. You got the right one, baby.
With 100% AHA.
Inside your smooth-running engine is a torture chamber. And under these grueling conditions, only one leading motor oil in every grade meets the world's toughest requirements for viscosity breakdown. Castrol. Castrol provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol. After all, why make things tougher on your engine? Castrol GTX, engineered for today's smaller cars.
ESPN's college basketball is brought to you by McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
And welcome back. Halftime of NIT semifinal number 1 rather. It's Virginia by 2 over the Gators. Some coaching news at Ole Miss. Rob Evans is the new Rebels head coach, his first head coaching job, and he's the first black head basketball coach ever at Ole Miss. He's been an assistant to Eddie Sutton at Oklahoma State for a couple of years and spent 15 years at Texas Tech. He inherits a Rebels program that's had just one winning season in the last decade. Another first-time coach, Bob Sunvold, takes over at Central Missouri State. He takes over a Mules program for just a one-year contract. Sunvold spent 13 years at Missouri under Norm Stewart and was at Southwest Missouri State under Charlie Spoonhour this past year. Well, Duke will have Christian Laettner for Saturday's semifinal game with Indiana. The NCAA basketball committee reviewed the tape of this incident Saturday night as he steps on Aminu Timberlake of Kentucky right here. They said that a contact technical was the correct call, not a flagrant foul. That involves violent contact that could have injured somebody. It would have resulted in an ejection. Remember, Laettner was the guy that Rod Sellers roughed up for Connecticut. He was suspended for the Huskies' first-round game against Nebraska this year, but that was not ruled, what Laettner did was not ruled a flagrant foul, no ejection, and so no suspension. Laettner, one of 3 players to go to 4 Final Fours. All of them are Duke Blue Devils. When we come back, we'll take a look at the excellence of the Duke program and tell you some secrets for the success. It goes beyond good players.
The IBM Laser Printer 10 can print 700 pages without reloading. 3 times more than the leading laser printer. They just don't stack up. The new IBM laser printers put you pages ahead.
It happens every morning in London, Paris, and Madrid. In Munich, Manchester, Zurich, and Brussels. In Glasgow, Stockholm, Frankfurt, Milan, and soon Berlin. As the new day arrives, so do we. American across the U.S. American Airlines, something special to Europe.
It's one of the most technologically advanced, most rigorously tested fluids on Earth, relentlessly measured for maximum protection against the friction, the wear and tear, the heat and stress of today's engines. It is today's Quaker State. In Europe, in Japan, in America, Quaker State quality has passed the most demanding tests automakers can throw at it. At Quaker State, we don't just say we're tough, we're tested tough. The big Q is one tough motor oil.
Ask anyone who's driven a Ford lately. Like the people from Car and Driver, who've named Taurus SHO one of their 10 best. The people from Motor Trend, who named Explorer the best buy in its class. Or any one of the thousands of people who've made Escort the best-selling small car in America. Have you driven a Ford lately? It's more than just a question. It's an answer.
Right now at Pizza Hut, get a Supreme Pizza loaded with 6 delicious toppings like mouth-watering pepperoni and green peppers. Call Pizza Hut Delivery and get a medium Supreme for $7.99 and any other medium for just $4 more. Call now.
Come on, Pizza Hut, deliver me.
Minnesota Madness will get you ready Friday for the 2 semifinal games on Saturday, a special 8:30 Eastern Time from Minneapolis. That'll be followed by the NABC All-American game, 9 o'clock Eastern Time from Minneapolis. Of course, in one semifinal game, the Duke Blue Devils taking on Indiana. This, their 5th consecutive trip to the Final Four. They've made it 6 out of the last 7 years, a run that's been surpassed only by those great UCLA teams under John Wooden. It goes beyond great players. You ask any Blue Devil, current or former, it always comes back to one guy, Mike Krzyzewski.
I think if you're going to point to just one thing as why the program's been so good over the years, it would have to be Coach K. He's the one constant.
Krzyzewski is hypersensitive to the most minute signs of complacency. Example, Duke's loss at Wake Forest. In the final minutes, Grant Hill is stripped. By the time the Deacons convert, 6 seconds have elapsed without another Blue Devil getting back to help. Most coaches would have flared quickly at the lack of hustle, then written it off to a 21-1 team missing its point guard and weary after 5 road games in 18 days. Krzyzewski turned it into a cause célèbre, privately ripping his team for lacking the hunger to repeat.
So he just went off. I mean, it was
crazy. I think not only that play, but the way we lost that game was that, you know, they took the ball from us, you know, and when you're hungry, you get back on defense. You know, that was symbolic of the big picture.
It may be something that's not bad, you know, it could be caused by travel or sickness, a number of wins in a row, you know, whatever. When you see it, you got to attack it. You don't coddle weaknesses.
Krzyzewski enjoys pushing psychological buttons, from the night-like tirades to the TLC of Carnesecca, all calculated to extract the maximum from his teams. His intuition also helps screen potential recruits for flaws, not only in their jumpers, but in their manners.
I might ask a guy, well, why don't you ever say thank you? You know, I don't know. It'd be nice if you said thank you. You'd be a better kid if you said thank you.
A recruit you're talking about?
Yeah, and that recruit might say, why is he asking about that? And, or he might say, boy, I'm glad he said that. You know, if he said, I'm glad he said it, that may be one of the reasons he comes to Duke.
Duke's had a steady flow of recruits who always say thank you, eat their vegetables, and blend superbly. An apprentice system, rare these days, endures here. Mark Allery teaches Danny Ferry, who teaches Christian Leitner, who teaches Cherokee Parks. And the knowledge of what it takes to win is passed down from class to class. Another lesson learned early, the NCAA tournament is the election. Everything before is the primaries.
I think that's where we're different as a team. Everything we do before March is to prepare for March.
Non-conference road tests like UCLA, Michigan, and LSU are seen as essential preparation. Then Krzyzewski gets his team to view the field of 64 as 3 separate 4-team tournaments. Win each weekend, you get to play the next one.
I think that's helped us to maybe not put so much pressure. We don't realize that you're in the regional finals. You just know you got to win those 2 games, and then you go to the next tournament.
Again, it's that process of achieving along the way instead of, oh man, we just got by those 2. See, I think it's a much healthier approach, a much more positive approach.
If the approach helps Duke to twin wins in the Twin Cities, it's time to dust off the D word. Just don't mention dynasty to Krzyzewski. Five straight Final Fours in the age of parity. Incredible. Leitner, Davis, and Greg Kubek, the 3 players who have made to 4 Final Fours in their career. We're at halftime of semifinal game number 1 of the NIT. Another ACC team, Virginia, up on Florida, the indoor blimp cam. Stith finds Anthony Oliver for the lay-in. It's Cavs 33-31.
The Congress is not unified with the President. The vote on this resolution should be yes.
This tax is a loser.
We side with the people and we side with freedom.
We better get our priorities straightened around in a hurry.
Where would the issues be without cable? The $15 million a year it costs to bring America C-SPAN is totally paid for by cable companies like yours.
What is the wisest course of action for our nation?
We see this as the first step.
Cable contributes to life.
I just took a trip to Canada and brought back this hat. I also brought back some Canadian bacon. It gave me an idea for a new Canadian bacon cheeseburger. A quarter pound of fresh beef, cheese, lettuce, tomato, and Dijon mustard. And here's the best part, 2 slices of Canadian bacon. What a combination.
Wendy's new Canadian bacon cheeseburger. A delicious combination, but only for a limited time.
I know you love our Canadian bacon cheeseburger, but be honest, what do you think?
Why do sports fans turn to ESPN first? Because baseball is always...
in your face.
In your face.
In your face.
ESPN, ESPN, your face.
Welcome back. When the Cavs and Gators are done, the Irish and Utes will take the floor for semifinal game number 2. Notre Dame winning 3 straight home games to get to the Garden. And then the 2 winners will meet Wednesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern in the NIT championship game right here. We're coming back with the second half, Virginia and Florida, in just a couple of minutes.
What's so daring about new Prism car polish? It's not how you put it on, but how you take it off.
Introducing new Prism Car Polish. It's the first and only spray-away approach to car polishing. Just wipe it on and spray it off. And in half the time, you get a durable shine. No huffing, no puffing, no buffing. New Prism, the only spray-away car polish.
Just starting out, they don't have a lot of money for life insurance. I'm their State Farm agent, Gaylord Mooseman. Instead of giving Mark and Rennie a big life insurance sales talk, I did a lot of listening. And we came up with a plan that's going to work for their budget and little Lindsay's future, too. State Farm agents are good listeners because we want you to have life insurance you can live with.
State Farm sells life insurance.
Ford Trucks, the best never rest.
People used to go out on Saturday night and leave their truck at home. Times have changed. Our 92 full-size pickup is still built Ford tough, but we designed it to be more stylish outside, more comfortable inside. Now, if anything gets left at home, you probably be their car.
More people are driving the best-built, best-selling American trucks than ever before.
This royal throne of kings, this happy breed of men, this earth of majesty, this little world.
The airline that's uniting the world, United, brings you non-stop service from 6 U.S. cities to London's Heathrow and the land of poets.
This blessed plot, this earth, this realm, this England.
Come fly the friendly skies.
ESPN's College Basketball is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
In case you missed it, a big baseball trade late this afternoon between the Cubs and the White Sox. George Bell, a 3-time All-Star, is headed to the South Side in exchange for Sammy Sosa and lefty reliever Ken Patterson. Bell, a solid offensive season in his 1 year with the Cubs, but he did lead all Major League outfielders with 10 errors. Sosa comes off a 2.03 year. The Cubs dumping a lot of salary, though. Sosa and Patterson combined make less than a quarter of what Bell makes. Now back to our two high-priced guys at the Garden, Sean McDonough and Bill Raftery for the second half.
You got the wrong guys, Chris, but thank you anyway. Virginia by 2 at the break over the Florida Gators. Let's take a look at some halftime stats. Field goal shooting, Florida with the edge there, but they had a problem with rebounds.
Yeah, they sure did. The ability to offensive rebound, I think, by Virginia. We have a number of 12 of those 20 were offensive rebounds. So you got to do a job there if you're going to win this game for Florida.
And Bill, the rebounding problem really developed for Florida when Andrew DeClerc, the freshman center, went to the bench with 3 fouls.
But it also took away their inside game. I mean, they're a great team finding people down low. And when they went to him, some good things happened. We get a nice look, a nice angle at the entry pass with this high-flying cam. Used to be the slam cam, I guess, but they're good at finding the passing lane. The upper deck cam, I might add.
Yes.
Slipped my mind, or my mind's been slipping. As a nice little pump fake by DeClerc and Bryant Stith. We mentioned breaking people down. Did a nice job individually, whether it was feeding the post or getting himself inside to show extraordinary strength in traffic. And when they were in some trouble inside, they got some deep ability. The threat of Oliver, something that makes Virginia a much better basketball team.
Bryant Stith had a terrific first half. 13 points and 10 rebounds. 7 of the 10 rebounds at the offensive end of the floor. We are told that Stacey Poole aggravated that abdominal strain, the injury he originally suffered. There's a backcourt violation, and needlessly so for Virginia. Jeffries handed the ball off to Alexander. He had to know that he was standing almost right on the line, but as you can see, Stacey Poole is going to try to play with that aggravated abdominal strain.
Had to be after he received the pass. There is no backcourt on the pass. It's where you land. So it had to be once it was inbounded.
Poole knocks it home. Stacey Poole has 9. 33 all the score. Was nip and tuck through most of the first half. The largest lead for Florida was 5 points, and Virginia's largest lead was 3.
Ball reversal and then the post up. Nice dip in and much better defense by DeClerc.
Jeffries working on DeClerc with the 3 fouls. Missed the shot. Morrow another rebound.
Another, huh?
Brown got a hand on it to slap it out of bounds. That's 14 offensive rebounds in the game for the University of Virginia.
They keep doing that. You can send the uniforms to the cleaners, and they'll just take you out of the game. Get a body on them.
Stith with 15. Virginia back up by 2. We've played 1 minute in the second half. This is game 1 of our NIT semifinal doubleheader.
Nice little cut by the big guy. And he worked hard. He had box to box and back a third time.
8 points now for Andrew DeClerc. It was a unanimous selection to the SEC all-freshman team by the league coaches. The three from Alexander bounced off, and Poole controls.
And he's hurting. He came down cringing with that rebound.
His 5th board.
Leroy Hendricks just checking with him, too. Talked about that competitive zeal, and Stacy wanted to continue to perform.
Hogan in for Florida. Brown heads to the bench. Poole is certainly used to playing with injuries. He's torn both Achilles tendons during his time at Florida. He's had knee surgery.
Nice play.
Jeffries blocked the shot by Grimsley, but Burrow stepped in from out of bounds.
He
and
did.
Joe Mingle says, you cannot do that.
He didn't establish. You know, I'm thinking of Hogan as he went home to Indiana, and this is just great presentation by Jeffrey. And as you noted, the rule is you've got to reestablish first. You can't be simultaneous as you touch the ball and get in bounds.
Are you going to sing a little back home again in Indiana?
I was just wondering if you get the same reception when you go to your home area as Brian Hogan did.
I don't get there very often.
And they're delighted about it, huh?
Yes, indeed.
Jeff's had some tough road games this year. New Orleans and Stanford. They may have cost Virginia that tough schedule a chance at the NCAA. But this is a beautiful position for these teams to be in. All Final Four coaches here delighted for their kids and for what it's doing for their program. And that, in a sense, makes up for any disappointment they may have had initially.
Grimsley took it into traffic and did well to get it back to
by Hogan.
Cross missed the 3. Stith stopped by Hogan.
He's got great respect for the defense.
Burrow gets it to roll in.
And it challenges the Clerk a little bit more, which is a heady play, almost an NBA mentality. Get him when he's hurting with those fouls.
DeClerc. Alexander got a hand on it. Both Grimsley and Burrow went up for it. It bounced over their heads.
Hey, if that were a ballet, those two would have got a standing O the way they went up.
That's a 3 for Jose Grimsley, the junior from Lakeland, Florida, with his first points of the night. Burrow, rebounded by Poole.
Picking up tempo a little bit here.
Both teams like to run when they have the opportunity, but neither had much of an opportunity in the first half.
I think you mentioned early, too, the legs, a little uptight early. The Gardnitis.
Poole. Wow. It wouldn't fall, but he was fouled.
We saw that Purdue game where he took a fadeaway. Remember you said, gee, that's a bad shot? He loves that little bounce left, keeps sliding, and able to convert more often than not. Well, the Florida program with some great headliners, and they didn't talk too much about Poole, but the down screen and his stick-to-itiveness, and he's benefited by staying and playing for Lon Kruger.
Poole made the first. Longo's watching it. The Hall of Fame coach of the St. John's Redmen, Lou Carnesecca.
Jack Kaiser there with them. They need an interpreter to understand Louis.
Or at least an amplifier.
One of the great human beings.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, he is a charming man. All he does is win.
Gators by 3. We've played 3.5 minutes in the second half. The winner of this one meets the winner of the Utah-Notre Dame game coming up next here on ESPN. Oliver blocked by Poole. The Virginia bench wanted a goaltending call. Jeff Jones better be careful. He's out of the coaching box. What a great call that was.
Lenny Wirtz is in here. He's all right.
Hogan for 3. Rebounded by Stith. 12 rebounds for Bryant Stith. And it's kicked out of bounds by Brown. 15:55 to play in game 1 of our Twinville. The Gators have a 3-point lead.
Ask anyone who's driven a Ford lately. Like the people from Car and Driver, who've named Taurus SHO one of their 10 best. The people from Motor Trend who named Explorer the best buy in its class. Or any one of the thousands of people who've made Escort the best-selling small car in America. Have you driven a Ford lately? It's more than just a question. It's an answer.
Hit Pizza Hut for a supreme pizza loaded with 6 delicious toppings like mouth-watering pepperoni, mushrooms, and green peppers. Right now, get a medium supreme for $7.99 and any other medium for just $4 more.
Get Pizza Hut tonight.
Shower yourself with a new sensation. New refreshing Shield. Feel the blast. The high-energy beat of Shield's unique skin-vigorating formula. Refreshment that'll turn you around. New refreshing Shield.
When you play the game and you're looking good, there's a Bud Light way and it's understood.
If you're into looking good, get into Bud Light. The clean, fresh taste won't fill you up, never let you down.
You can taste it, feel it, know you got it right. Cause everything else is just a light. Everything else is just a light. Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. Just a light. Everything else is just a light.
It's been tight all the way, and Florida has a 3-point lead over Virginia with 15:55 to play in the second half. We've seen a couple of shots from the upper deck trading card cam. That's where it is, hanging from the bottom of the speakers and scoreboard.
You did a nice job this afternoon getting that up there.
It wasn't easy without a ladder.
The great Walenda McDonough.
Thank goodness for my vertical leap. Stith scores right off the out-of-bounds play.
That's 2 that he scored on from the out of bounds. And boy, is that disturbing for a coach.
I think we are seeing why Bryant Stith had his number 20 retired by the University of Virginia on March 3rd. He has 17 points and 12 rebounds tonight.
Sean, he's retired a few uniforms too.
Poole. Nice move in traffic, but the shot was off the mark and rebounded by Ted Jeffries.
Nice play. Oh, Oliver. When you shoot the jumper like he is this evening, you're a threat.
Cross tried to hit the clerk. It went to Brown instead for 2. 6 points for Craig Brown.
Strong conferences, Sean. And the level of play in both of them exceedingly high, so you got a lot of heart out there.
Cornell Parker missed a 3, rebounded by Dirkelboden.
A lot of push and not too many open fast breaks. Good balance by both clubs.
Poole had it deflected out of bounds by Parker, and at that time it was the Florida bench looking for a foul call.
The running occasionally because of individual ability, but you notice the balance was great. Just better offensive thrust with the kiss release by Mr. Oliver.
Glad to hear you use one of your Bill Rafteryisms.
Off used. You know, Jimmy Stamos mentioned we had the offensive rebounding, our stat man. Virginia's got 14, and boy, that's deep for the big guy. 14 offensive rebounds, but only 5 points off that. So, in effect, they haven't had the results they would like.
And that's why, at least in part, it is a tight game at 42-41 Florida. The foul was on Dan Cross, pardon me, Bill, his first.
These kids have had a ball in New York, Sean. Chatted with a few as you did, and some of them have never been here. Walked close to the buildings, looking for police, some of them, but others experiencing the sights and sounds, Broadway plays. Tomorrow night, a chance to watch, what's that fellow with Chicago?
Michael.
You're not talking about Paxson, are you?
Michael, no. Give us a minute. But the Bulls are playing the Knicks here tomorrow.
Well, they'll see a pretty fair game anyhow.
Stith short. Hogan came away with it. Florida with the ball and a 1-point lead. We played 6 minutes in the second half.
Not too many. There weren't any seats, I guess, huh, for MJ, Michael Jordan.
So Rick Majerus, the Utah coach, trying to hit you up for a couple.
Yeah, he was. Well, he's got others. I'll get him the tickets. I won't take him to dinner.
Bowden. The shot clock down to 14. Hogan, and it blocked by Oliver.
He can make it. They've got a lot of standstill shooters who don't get the quick release, right?
They need a quick release here from Huisma. 1 second on the shot clock as he clanged one off the rim. 4 block shots for the guard, Anthony Oliver, tonight.
Stith makes great decisions or no decisions on his passes. And seldom does he make that silly mistake.
Alexander scores. 4 points for Corey Alexander. He averages 11 per game. Hasn't scored much lately. Had only 2 in the quarterfinal win over New Mexico. The Gators lose it, much to the displeasure of Jose Grimsley and Juan Kruger.
There's the old call at the force out. Juan said he was shoved to the line. And I used to love that little call. Saves the official a nickel dimer.
Well, it was kind of a cop-out, wasn't it, though? Force out a lot of times was a cop-out. I mean, either he went out of bounds or he got fouled.
Okay. Hate to get a ticket from you.
Jeffrey scores. Okay, well, I'll grant you that. The force out was a good rule.
A perimeter team right now on the floor. Not the great, without the clerk, even though Jirko Boten is not a bad post-up guy, he's not the threat the clerk is.
Huisma, that's no indication from the officials. Apparently a 2. And it's a 1-point game. Virginia with the lead as we tick down to 12 minutes remaining. That's the first bucket of the night for Marty Huisma.
Gotta love the heart. These two banging away at one another. Showing some strength as he discards defenders. Stith.
Talking to a couple of the NBA scouts who are here, there's a foul away from the ball called against Jose Grimsley of Florida. Bryant Stith projected as a middle round, first-round pick in the NBA draft this spring. Virginia by 1. 11:44 to play in Game 1 of our NIT semifinal doubleheader.
Point of fact, it takes the average person an average of 20 keystrokes to do an average task with their PC. Counterpoint. You can do it with just a point and click with Microsoft Windows.
Have you had your V8 today? Did you know that V8 juice has fewer calories than that orange and 100% of the daily allowance of vitamin C?
Wow.
And did you know that V8 is 100% vegetable juice, so it has no fat, unlike that low-fat milk? Wow. And did you know that V8 has more vitamin A than that serving of fresh broccoli?
Wow. I gotta have a V8.
V8 is a nutritious blend of 8 vegetable juices that taste terrific. Have you had your V8 today?
Hey, check it out. Check it out. It's starting to snow.
Besides a powerful V6 engine and a gripping new suspension, the Isuzu Trooper has been thoughtfully redesigned.
Let me see that hand.
To include a tiny little knob.
We're four-wheeling now, buddy.
To make everything right in the world again.
Microsoft Word for Windows is so easy. It just takes one click to make your work look twice as good. Microsoft Word, the word processor for Windows.
Coming up following our Virginia-Florida game, it's Utah and Notre Dame in Game 2 of the NIT semifinals. The Utes at 23-10. Notre Dame 17-14. That's coming up as soon as this one is over here at Madison Square Garden, where Virginia enjoys a 1-point lead. Florida shooting the ball better, but Virginia has had a decided edge on the offensive glass.
And the bench, Florida, it leaps out there. Now they've scored on the out of bounds twice. See if they get the trifecta. No. Well, they can still score, but I meant that immediate banging of the deuce.
The lead has changed hands in this game 10 times.
Can't leave them like that.
Stiff's miss, rebounded by Poole. Now Scott Stewart, Jr. from Naples, Florida. DeClerc is back in for the Gators, as is Lewis Rowe.
While he's in, you might as well get him involved with the ball down low, not out here, although he's here to reverse it and go headhunt.
Poole yelling at Rowe to move. Poole in and out. Offensive rebound for Florida. And it's Rowe scoring.
Well, Rowe moved to the right spot or the right cue. Clear out. Poole out-jumped the defender, didn't he, on that release?
Gators back up as we have our 11th lead change. Alexander missed a three. DeClercq saved it for Poole.
Poole was up big for that rebound. Just couldn't control it. The kid DeClercq really works at his post offensive moves, trying to get free. Here he takes Jeffries and tries to bring him out so Poole can work.
Stewart just inside the NBA three-point line.
A old-fashioned stab, as you called earlier. Set.
6 points for Scott Stewart off the bench on a couple of three-pointers. Now it's Florida by 4. DeClercq got a hand on the pass, but knock it to Brown. 2-on-2. Stewart thought about pulling up for another three. The Gators on a 7-0 run.
Not a good play by Stewart there. Tried the dribble exchange in traffic with Poole.
A play that might work for Steve Spurrier, but at the foul line, not what Lon Kruger was looking for.
The goal line stand dive, huh?
Brown knocked it free from Oliver. Oliver might have been poked in the eye, or might have been acting.
Rowe, a much better match for Stith down on the box. Look at his heads-up play by Stewart.
And the layup went spinning off. Rebounded by Alexander. That all started when Oliver was afraid to touch it again outside the line for fear of a double dribble call.
Confidence by Jeff, letting his guys play. Important part of the game. 4 could become 6 with a mistake. Almost did by Stewart.
Stith fouled by Brown.
And Brown with the look. Get it out of here. Pretty good position. Smaller, but still effective. Craig Brown.
2 fouls on Brown. There's Nick McCarchick, the coach of Fordham, in attendance here tonight.
And I enjoy his company because he vocalizes.
Yes.
He expresses himself. And rumors about him going to Rice, we're told unfounded. Happy here. Patriot League champion. And had to play Mass, unfortunately, who, as we've seen, had a wonderful year. Talented basketball team. But Nick, real pleasant, talented individual.
Another of the really nice people in the business. George Blaney's name has been mentioned for that Rice job as well. Blaney, the outstanding coach at Holy Cross.
The Cross. Old pal of mine from the summer leagues in Jersey City. And George was quite a player. Had a nice NBA career. More than a cup of coffee. He still has every dollar he earned in those days as well.
Well, he certainly wouldn't lose it to you on the links.
No.
Jeffries scores over DeClercq. 4 points for Ted Jeffries, the junior from Bowie, Maryland, out of DeMatha High School. He averages just under 6 points per game, so this has not been a particularly quiet offensive night for Ted. Rowe. He went inside out. DeClercq with a nice bounce pass out to Rowe. Now the Cavs push. Luro fouled by Louis Rowe. His first.
Smith in, give Alexander a little blow. Also, he's a threat deep. I don't think either club's going to run away and hide, do you?
No.
Is that feeling?
But will the Boats run away and hide? We'll find out as coverage of the America's Cup continues tomorrow at noon Eastern time. Dennis Conner aiming for the lead in the Defender trials tomorrow. Well, it says in my card noon Eastern, on the screen 3 Eastern, so
I'll go with the screen.
And I'll take the curtain.
Well, if the Boats run away and hide, I know Jim Kelly will have ample supplies on board.
Perhaps the good folks in the truck can let us know which it is, 3 or noon Eastern, and we can set that record straight. Whoever wrote the cards had problems tonight. We had Utah playing Florida in the second game on one of the cards earlier.
Well, DeClercq being yo-yoed now because of the foul situation. Give him a little blow. I think it's going to boil down to the clerk on the box, if he can play and be effective, with Poole alongside, and down this end, get Burrow involved with Stith for Virginia.
The Gators went sailing into the front court, then dropped anchor. They lead by 1 with 8 minutes to play in the second half. It is 3 o'clock. Sailing Buffs tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern time. That would be noon Pacific.
And there are a ton of people that watch and enjoy it. And the coverage is sensational. Pictures are beautiful.
As they have been here tonight at Madison Square Garden, where Parker just picked up his first foul, and where the Gators enjoy a 1-point lead.
Larry Bird was born.
Honey, I got a new tractor.
Obsolescence.
Honey, I got a new tractor.
It's the fact of life that says nothing lives forever.
Honey, I got a new tractor.
At Cub Cadet, we put a lot of time into our products.
Honey, I got a new tractor.
So you'll get a lot of time out of them.
Honey.
You can accept obsolescence.
Honey.
Or you can fight it.
You gotta...
Anyone who drives a Nissan wants top quality care for their car. Well, I can assure you that top quality care is exactly what your Nissan will receive at your local Nissan service center. Their prices are competitive, and here, the experienced service technicians are continually upgrading their technical training through Nissan. Anytime the competition has questions, they come here for answers. Now, who would you want servicing your Nissan?
Trust the Nissan service experts in the Nissan Service Center.
On the first day, ESPN Home Video created Amazing Sports Bloopers 1. Pleased with the results, it then created Amazing Sports Bloopers 2. And then on the 7th day, it rested.
Back here at Madison Square Garden, where Florida leads Virginia by 1 in the first of 2 NIT semifinal games to come your way tonight. Utah and Notre Dame on deck.
Well, the great thing about coaching, Jimmy McDermott, the old Iona coach, he had Richie Guerin, was the AD for years. They never give it up. They love it. Here's Lou Rossini, NYU, Kramer and Hairston, and here's Don Kennedy, St. Peter's. What Pepper Dooley back in the 50s, Elnardo Webster, first a great game in the NIT, 56 points, I think. And you know what I have in common with those three? I lost to all of them.
I was going to say, you're in your 80s?
Well, I started young. I started losing young as well.
You look great.
3 wonderful human beings and love this game. We got a few elderly statesmen from the coaching profession.
Virginia trailing by 1. We're down to 7:25 to play. This is Doug Smith, junior from Fayetteville, Tennessee. He had his appendix removed in January. 6 days later, he played in the game against Notre Dame.
There's that insertion by Jones to get Smith some outside shooting.
First 3 of the night for Doug Smith. Virginia back up.
And Jeffries really teeing it up with the clerk. Haven't been able to get him to touch it on the box out here. It's been okay, but down low there, make him cause the turnover. Good call, too.
Yes.
He had the last touch. That's not his game yet.
Good teamwork by the officials. Leroy Hendricks along the baseline wasn't sure, and Joe Mingle outside gave him the right call. They batted it off to Clerk, did Doug Smith. Been a well-played game. Florida has only turned it over 8 times, and Virginia has committed just 5 turnovers.
In a hurry, right, with the move? Squeeze it.
Smith missed the 3 that time. Jeffries the offensive rebound. Stith. Poole batted it, but there's Smith.
One hustle. Now you get that time, you got to take advantage. And Doug certainly is.
Jeff Jones thought the Cavaliers could hurt Florida on the boards, and they have. Parker didn't get it a drop. Foul on the rebound action. It's going against Virginia's Ted Jeffries. Coming up Thursday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we promise live first round action begins. The Cadillac Senior PGA Championship. Jack Nicklaus is trying to win this event for the 3rd year in a row. Other players include Gary Player, Chi-Chi Rodriguez, and Lee Trevino. That's Thursday at 1. Senior Golf on ESPN.
It has been the tradition in golf for Nicklaus to win often.
That foul on Jeffries was his 3rd. Grimsley, they'll give him that.
Excuse me, right now they're backing off just a little earlier. They went out really pressured, so they're changing the look and causing problems for Florida, and pull either his charge or down low on Grimsley.
It was on Poole, his first. Poole's going to come out with 5:45 remaining. Marty Kwiesma has replaced him. Scott Stewart has also returned for the Gators. And Brian Hogan takes a seat. So it's Stewart for Florida, Smith, Stith, Burrow, Parker, and Jeffries for Virginia.
A nice switch on the pop out on Stith. Switching those. Doug, the overplay baseline, he threw it that way. It should have been to the middle.
Got a singles cross with Burrow, and Kwiesma intercepted. Down to 5:10 to play. Virginia 51, Florida 49.
Got to get a better angle.
They returned the favor.
Yeah, they sure did. Another bounce with the dribble. Now you got a great little entry.
Parker has gone to the bench, replaced by Anthony Oliver.
We need a little faster paced game to get Joe Mingle out of our vision here, huh? Joe lingering right about the midcourt area. Nice hot. Oh, that's a walk.
Yeah.
Good call. And it's not called enough. Great call. The 2 feet land. It's a 2 pivot foot move. You can't step forward once you jump stop.
If you come to that jump stop, your next jump has to be up to the
in
goal.
the air. And a great call. Joe, right. Here's the jump. Now you can't jump or step off it. And there's the step through. And Joe Mingle, who may have been lingering, wasn't lingering on that call.
Florida 5 minutes without a bucket. Poole fouled by Anthony Oliver along the baseline. So Stacey Poole will go to the line with a chance to tie it up. The second foul against Oliver.
Sean Oliver is so versatile defensively. He's been playing Poole and silencing him of late. And you often judge people on their offensive performance, as we did in the first half. You know, he made some open jump shots, but he's been able to guard a bigger guy like Poole down low or outside.
Well, Poole still stuck on 11 points with 7 rebounds. And Anthony Oliver has had plenty of practice guarding outstanding scorers on the opposing team this season. He's had to cover Tom Gugliotta, Hubert Davis, Sam Cassell of Florida State, John Barry, Walt Williams.
You know he is an insomniac. You would be too, right, if you had to think about playing that lineup.
No wonder they don't care if he doesn't score. He's done the job on those guys all season long.
What a save there.
And a foul called. Brown and Stewart both in the neighborhood. It's going against Craig Brown, his 3rd.
Trying to get into that giveaway position, too. Pull the string, run the trap, and get it to 6 personal fouls, or team fouls, I should say.
Jeff Jones and the Cavaliers went 8-8 in the ACC this season. They're the first ACC team to post a 500 or better record and not make the NCAA tournament since the field was expanded to 64 teams in 1985.
What a
Bryant Stith with 20.
Big time kiss. And the reason, I think he overscheduled. I think his great schedule hurt him. So coaches are going to reconsider who they play out of their conference and where they play. And the loser will be the fans.
Poole leans in and scores. Back to a 1-point game. Stacey Poole now with 14. And a timeout on the floor. Craig Brown shaken up. A 1-point game. Virginia with the lead with 3:43 to play.
It's one of the most technologically advanced, most rigorously tested fluids on Earth, relentlessly measured for maximum protection against the friction, the wear and tear, the heat and stress of today's engines. It is today's Quaker State. In Europe, in Japan, in America, Quaker State quality has passed the most demanding tests automakers can throw at it. At Quaker State, we don't just say we're tough, we're tested tough. The big Q is one tough motor oil.
The Isuzu Trooper
Right on time.
has been thoughtfully redesigned to include a new suspension system,
Honey, pothole.
I see it.
giving it an incredibly smooth, quiet ride on the road as well as off. Of course, these days, what's the difference?
Next time you need a hotel, think twice.
Embassy Suites.
2 big rooms, 1 big suite,
Embassy Suites.
a place to work, a place to play.
Embassy Suites.
Breakfast is free. Evening beverages too.
Embassy Suites.
Think twice. Twice the hotel. Call 1-800-EMBASSY.
Well, Sean McDonough, I know you never lingered in the low post area. A matter of courage, not size.
Both.
But here is a nice curling pattern, and the initiator hit that body on another. And Stacy, who people thought might not play the second half, that's how much pain he has, according to the Florida people, showing his perseverance and intestinal fortitude. Fortunately, you can talk about it. Possessing it might be another thing.
3.5 minutes to play. It's a 1-point lead for Virginia. The Cavaliers have the ball.
Stith trying to work the box because of a couple of inches, not able to, because of Grimsley doing a nice job, time his cuts as well. Like with the clerk. Not even playing Jeffries.
Stith had to hang in the air, missed the shot, pulled down by DeClerc. He swings some elbows and comes out of the crowd. Threw it away, looking for Scott Stewart.
What a killer. He won't do that in a couple of years.
10th Gator turnover.
He was aggressive with the rebound, wasn't he?
Indeed he was. He led all freshmen in the SEC in rebounding. They're better than 6 per game. Stith knocked to the floor after the shot by DeClerc.
Over anxious, and I'm not so sure the theatrics of Stith. This should be after the shot, believe it or not.
I think you're right.
1-and-1. But DeClerc zoning on Jeffries, not paying attention on any outside cut by Jeffries, able to come out and challenge Stith.
Bryant Stith to the line as DeClerc is the first player in the game with 4 fouls. 20 points, 13 rebounds for Stith. He's 3 for 4 from the line, now 4 for 5.
Did they slap 5 when you played? Excuse me.
That's all right.
After each free throw? That could be exhausting by the end of the season.
It could be.
I mean, you're supposed to make it.
And you would think that that might be disruptive to one's rhythm after standing there in a group.
Well, a lot of the old timers never wanted to leave the line when they made one. Well, the old "you're hot" theory. Look at this. Yes.
No basket. Oh. They should give him the bucket just for the effort.
I'll say that he has shown signs of heart. We mentioned heart because of the rebound earlier, the kick-out pass. The lean, the V you need, or C you can call it. And
why doesn't the bucket count?
Let it go.
I mean, that basket should count. Jeffries the foul. There's the whistle as the ball's being thrown up to the bucket.
And Jeffries thought it was one.
4 fouls now on Jeffries. So both centers playing with 4. Virginia with a 3-point lead under 2.5 minutes to play. The winner of this one meets the winner of Utah and Notre Dame coming up next.
Working that right side of the floor pretty much.
Stewart to tie it up off the mark. Kept alive by Poole, then batted away. Cornell Parker came away with it for Virginia.
Can't leave him alone. Big mistake. Grimsley gets caught up. Stewart has to assist.
24 for Stith, and the Cavaliers have their largest lead, 5 points. 1:45 to play.
Patience and get a good one. They just can't get the Clerk the basketball, and I think that's why Kruger wanted the timeout. They're not timing the cut to the box with the ball movement.
Florida trails by 5. 1:32 to play here at Madison Square Garden.
Hey, check it out. Check it out. It's starting to snow.
Besides a powerful V6 engine and a gripping new suspension, the Isuzu Trooper has been thoughtfully redesigned.
Let me see that hand.
To include a tiny little knob.
We're four-wheeling now, buddy.
To make everything right in the world again.
In trying to make an artistic statement, one should be careful not to let one's personal aroma do the talking. In order not to offend the critics, I recommend Right Guard Sport Stick. It provides maximum protection and the freshest scents, a sublime palette of odoriferous emanations. After all, a true artiste should be remembered for his inspiration, not his perspiration. Right Guard Sport Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Sean McDonough with Bill Raftery back at Madison Square Garden. First of 2 NIT semifinal games tonight, and Virginia enjoys its largest lead, 5 points with 1:32 to play.
Little mistake here and there defensively, trying to help. The Clerk got out late on that jump shot, and then the mistake of Stewart ending up because Grimsley was inattentive. Stith banging home a little jumper. All of a sudden, that's all you need to get the 4 up. Right now, with down 5, they got to get it in low.
Both teams in the 1-1. The arrow pointing at Florida. Plenty of timeouts remaining for both sides. Lon Kruger just used his first here in the second half with his team down by 5.
And Jeffries doing a bang-up job on the Clerk. He just can't get in position. Kick out to Hogan.
His 3 wouldn't drop. To Clerk. Saved it, but it's Corey Alexander ahead to Oliver. 3-on-2 is the break. Oliver managed to stay with it. Hogan hustling into press row.
Oh, who they give it to Cross? He paid for that foul.
He took a right cross.
Oh, he did. Well, he'd get a better get a stance before you lead with a jab, huh? Always protect yourself. On the swing through, he pays for being close, and that should have gone the other way.
2 fouls on Cross and a couple of loose teeth. Virginia, good free throw shooting team at better than 72% collectively. And Alexander puts the Cavs up by 6 with 55.5 seconds remaining. 5 points in the game for the freshman Corey Alexander.
Now Hogan on the floor, you saw that penetration and kick out for the 3. That's favored by a lot of clubs. I think they need a basket now, so you might see that same kind of play. Screen for Poole and hit the Clerk or Poole and then kick it out. Well, so much for that.
Brown and the quick timeout.
Well, that's not like Virginia to give up a wire-to-wire basket.
Still really 2 similar teams in that you mentioned Virginia kind of lacking the offensive help for Stith. So often it's left to him to generate the offense. And I think we've seen that tonight for Florida. Not a lot of help for Poole when they really need some buckets.
And DeClerc silenced somewhat early because of the fouls and the insertion of Hogan trying to stimulate some outside offense. But other than Stewart's standstill pushes, Florida hasn't been able to get anything other than the offense designed by Lon Kruger. The other end, Stith has stepped up a little bit. Doug Smith came in and gave them a little spark, and that's all you need in these tight ball games. But that was unusually poor Virginia defense, letting a guy go the length of the floor. I mean, that's a easy call, huh? I mean, you want to make the offense work when you're holding the lead.
Virginia trying to win the NIT for the second time. The Cavaliers won it in 1980 when they were led by Ralph Sampson. Jeff Jones was a key member of that team. They beat Minnesota in the championship game.
You know who was playing for Minnesota? A guy you've run across.
Leo Roach. No, Kevin
Minnesota.
Well, Leo started
Leo gets into every conversation we have.
Well, Leo started in Minnesota, you know, before going to Syracuse.
Yes, he did.
A little early even for Leo.
Yeah, of course, your pal up in Syracuse, a great career, and I think he'd be still playing if he didn't have the bad knee. Great feel for the game. Of course, McHale certainly does too, huh?
Yes, indeed.
The quick giveaway by Grimsley. You're trying to lengthen the game when you're behind and hope that they miss the opponents.
Coming up next, game 2 of this NIT semifinal doubleheader, the Utes of Utah against Notre Dame. Andrew DeClerc back in. Coming up between games with Chris Fowler, featuring the history of the 55 years of the NIT. And discussion on the 2Ks. We don't have a card for that, but I'm guessing that's Krzyzewski and Knight.
I would guess an assumption, and you're supposed to be sure.
Yes.
Television.
Not on the card, Joe. I have no clue. 2 free throws for Stith. 26 points tonight for Bryant. Poole crashed the boards, then had it slapped away.
He got away with one too as Brown gets tagged for the foul. But Stacy, that's the correct verb. Crashed.
Craig Brown now with 4 fouls. And Stith is going to go right back to the line. Cavaliers seemingly in control now with a 6-point lead, leading with 33 seconds remaining. Stith with 26 points, including 7 of 8 from the line. He's only the 4th player in ACC history to score 500 or more points in each of his 4 seasons. The other 3, you have them?
No, I was just checking on you. Phil Ford, Johnny Dawkins,
and
Ralph
Sampson.
Right?
Good for you. You're surprised me with that one. Not that
those long flights do that for you.
Stewart.
They're doing a nice job trying to score quickly.
Ill-advised pass by Parker, but the Cavaliers got away with it. And they're going to advance to the NIT championship game, leading by 7 with 15 seconds left, and Stewart had the foul, Anthony Oliver.
Well, they look like they're in control right now, Virginia. Unfortunately for Lon Kruger, George is not the athletic director.
That's true. That would be it for him.
And they can't trade the players.
Oh, you're tough.
Well, I'm a guy that follows the baseball up here. I like the Mets and the Yankees, and I liked it when they won, and George was there when they won.
So are you saying you'd like to see him come back?
I hope it happens. I mean, what the heck? It's his money, right?
That's right. And apparently your tickets.
And he's got a lot of it.
Stewart missing the 3.
Oh, what a rebound. And the last timeout expended. Now that rebound tells me what Stacy Poole is made out of. I mean, hurt, not able to play without pain on every trip, but not giving up. And I think that's typical of this Florida season. A step forward by Lon Kruger and company.
And they've really rekindled the interest again in the basketball program there. A lot of talk about the Florida Gators around Gainesville over the weekend in anticipation of this trip to the NIT Final Four. And you have to think, with just about everybody back, really the only senior, they only have 3, but the only senior who plays is Brian Hogan. And while he is a nice complimentary player, they certainly can replace him.
And a great feeling for the seniors leaving. And they talked about recruiting is excellent, and a chance to play these extra games helping. I think the clerk will get a lot out of tonight when he looks at the tape. Not able to time his cuts, not doing the things that come naturally, forcing that one dribble penetration. But you're playing a club, and Jeff Jones has this quiet confidence as well in his team as the clerk listens on. And folks, you'll be hearing his name for a couple of years. He's going to be a fine player, but the Jeff's club, tough conference, a lot of tough games. They lost to Duke in 2 close games. Able, and they're not going to give the foul, able to move forward, and for Jeff Jones, a nice way to finish this season, huh?
Indeed.
The
Heading to that championship game. You saw that we'll have it for you at 9 o'clock on Wednesday night. He won it as a player. He's trying to win it as a coach. And Virginia will meet the winner of the Utah-Notre Dame game coming up next. Final score in game 1, Virginia 62 and Florida 56. We'll be back in a few moments, but now let's join Chris Fowler.
All right, Sean and Raffy, I don't wander off. We'll get right back to you.